Thank you. Can everybody hear me like this? Yes. All right, great. No? Use the mic. All right. So thank you very much. You haven't had a chance to meet the over 20 food entrepreneurs that call this home right now. And we're doing something a little different, and you guys are going to be the first people to hear about it and really digest what I'm saying. We're building 3 different programs that will attract new food entrepreneurs from all over the country. So one of them is called Jay's 120, which gives homage to Jay's Cafeteria that was here quite some time ago. So some of you may remember that, maybe not. But every 120 days, a new fast casual, which is like a Chipotle or a Panera, will come through. And if they make it, they'll spin off into the wild. And if they don't, we probably just save them a bunch of money. And the way we're going to evaluate them is through a partnership with Kiva, where folks who come in and they buy their food can vote and say, I want this in my neighborhood. And I'm going to make a loan in order to get them here. So that's one powerful thing we're doing. We also have a farm-to-shelf program, which is intended to attract folks that have packaged foods, things that will be for sale on a retail shelf, and they will go through this program also. And then we have in this room a pop-up pickups. Every Monday through Friday will be pickup food. So those are the programs that we're doing to help attract food entrepreneurs who are renting commercial kitchen space in the back. And we're so happy to have you because I think everybody here has a connection with food. And I hope that you can support our food entrepreneurs either through eating or advice or investing. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoy the program this evening.
Thank you, Chris. I'd also like to highlight the people who are providing some of that food for you tonight. A lot of the food was donated, and it was donated by a couple different groups. So Lou Vino, restaurant in the Highlands, are about to open another location. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say about that. Lolly's Kitchen, V-Grits. If you follow me on social media, you've probably heard of V-Grits. I don't shut up about it. And M's Delights. M's Delights was actually, their founder went through a program called Young Entrepreneurs Academy a couple years ago that some of us were involved in. She's currently a high school senior. I don't know if that was obvious because of how much more mature she is than most of us, but yeah, again, all that awesome food out in the lobby is local entrepreneurs making really unique stuff that they came up with, so we're really excited for that. Let's give them a round of applause. So who here has been to a Venture Sharks event before? Raise your hand. Okay, so about maybe a fourth of you. Raise your hand if you haven't. Okay, that's what I thought. Well, welcome to your first event. Some of you might have guessed at this point that our program is loosely based on, I don't know, what did Bill Strench say we can say? Loosely based on Shark Tank, trademark ABC Entertainment Worldwide. I think we have to say something about we're not technically Shark Tank, but like Shark Tank, we are a place for entrepreneurs to pitch their ideas to not only investors, but actually the community at large and get some exposure, get some really good feedback and figure out, what are their core strengths and what are their weaknesses. And you all are part of that experience live right now. So that's really exciting for me. And like the TV show, it's part reality and part entertainment, right? So we want you guys to think really hard about these businesses, think about what's viable about them, but also just have a great time, right? You're getting to see some really interesting stuff you've probably never been exposed to before. And much like the real Shark Tank, hopefully, unless there's blood in the water, there won't be any real biting going on between the sharks and the company. So that could change, though. I don't know. It's the 7th year. So I've personally been fortunate enough to work with this event for a long time, and I think I've noticed an upward trend in the quality of the teams that come through. I could say that as one of the teams that went through a long time ago is we're not nearly as good as these teams are. This is put on by a group called Venture Connectors. If you haven't heard of Venture Connectors, they're one of the oldest entrepreneurial organizations in Louisville. This is actually their 21st year in Louisville. They're a nonprofit basically designed to connect entrepreneurs, investors, service providers, community members, and nonprofits. We have a monthly luncheon. This is actually the precursor to our May luncheon, which is where the finals will be held, and I'll tell you a little more detail about that later. But I've been going to Venture Connectors for a long time. I probably know half of the people in this room that I know because of that organization, so it's really great. Get involved. If you can't afford a ticket, bug someone in here with a gold name badge and guilt them into paying for it. That's one of their jobs, like Tendai here. Actually, everyone can guilt just Tendai. Leave the rest of us out of it. I also want to thank a few people really quickly who actually put on this event tonight. It takes a lot for this to go on, and so I really wanted to recognize Larry Horn, Amy Higgs, Chad Coulter, Lynn Cooper, and Lisa Siebert for their extra work on top of their existing duties with Venture Connectors. Let's give them a big round of applause. So like the real Shark Tank, we couldn't do this if it weren't for people paying for ads. And so we actually have some sponsors who are the reason that we're able to put this on and afford to do this, again, being a nonprofit. So I'd like to recognize them as well. Our gold sponsors include Commonwealth Seed Capital. They're an investment firm based out of Lexington that invests primarily in Kentucky-based companies. A lot of people in the room here actually have received investments from them. One of my companies has, I think, Superfan U. So they're really good at supporting local businesses and putting some of the state's money kind of back into the private sector, which is really great. I'd also like to recognize the University of Louisville College of Business graduate programs. I'm actually personally a graduate of that program, the MBA program specifically. Again, a lot of people in this room are. They are currently looking for people to go through their entrepreneurship MBA. So if this is something you're interested in, raise your hand if you've gone through that program. I see a lot of alumni in here. Okay, talk to any of these people, including myself. It's a really great program. I met some of my best friends through that program. I started 2 companies while I was in that program. I see a lot of co-founders out here. So it's really an awesome opportunity, and they've got a table right there, right outside that door. We also have a silver sponsor, Argy Financial. They are the entrepreneur's accounting company, so they really like to work with early-stage companies. I hate accounting personally, so I like good accountants because they don't make me do as much accounting. So if that's something you all need, you definitely need to hit those folks up. We also have some really awesome in-kind sponsors, Nucleus, who's part of U of L, Stoll Keenan and Ogden, and I'm going to talk about the prizes in a little bit. Mightily and McCrory Digital, all of those folks are actually donating services to the winners, and again, we're going to break that out in just a second. So between all of those people, we have a great prize package for them. So when I won, it was $5,000, right? I think Alice won, it was $1,000, right? She was the first one. It's now $23,000 in prizes. I don't know if you've ever drawn a curve before. That's a hockey stick. That's what every investor in this room is looking for, is the hockey stick, and we've really hockey sticked the prizes this year. So from Nucleus, you're going to receive 1 year's rent at the iHub, which is a co-working space in downtown. You'll receive $5,000 in legal services from Stoll Keenan Ogden. That's super valuable. McCrory Digital is going to provide high-quality marketing imagery and animations for product representation. Those are a lot of long words. It's a fancy way of saying they can make your shit look cool on the internet. And then Mightily came in a big way. They're actually providing $10,000 in brand strategy development, which includes a 2-hour strategy session to try to figure out your brand, color, everything about your identity, and then they're also going to build the website around that. They work with some pretty high-end clients, so for them to work with us early-stage companies, I think is a really big show of faith in the community. So we're really excited about that. Oh yeah, and you get $5,000 in cash. No big deal. That's also a prize. The $5,000 in cash you can use for almost whatever you want, except for, as Paul Moses would say, you're not allowed to buy a company Porsche with it. Although $5,000 Porsche, I probably would be weary of that. So basically, all we ask is that you use the prizes that you get towards the business that you're presenting tonight. That's really the criteria we're looking for. We want to help you get to the next level. This isn't a game show. This is actually a community investment initiative, and that's why we're here. So also, there's a little side prize. This is the first year we've done that. So 5 of the last 6 Venture Sharks winners have all personally contributed $50 to a prize pool of $250. And this is actually a side prize. And the reason I call that out is because the person who wins the entire event may not be the person who wins this side prize. This prize is specifically going towards the best presentation. And so those of us who are part of that, Logistrips, Steve Arkin, who's not here, Chris from Revio, Ali from Wicked Sheets, myself from USGA, and Dr. Alice Cash from Surgical Serenity Solutions. We're actually going to pick a winner at the May event. We're going to give you a separate check for $250 just because we thought you did a really good job. And we know what it's like. We've been on the stage. We know how hard it is to present in front of people. And so that's really just something that we want to kind of give back. And it's really launched all of us forward. So really excited to be part of that. I did want to call out a couple groups of people who are also here tonight. The Network of Entrepreneurial Women. I see some of them in the back here. If you're here with that group, raise your hand. If you're here from new. Okay, wow. So the ladies are taking over. I should have had my Beyonce playlist on. Daniel, is it too late? No? Okay. I wanted to recognize them. They're having their monthly event here with us tonight. They've also got some really great events coming up. On May 11th, Jason Sherman from Below Zero will be speaking. And then on June 8th, they have an event called their Annual Showcase. This is basically a place for entrepreneurial businesses that are owned and run by women to exhibit to the Louisville community and other fellow women business owners. It's only $75 to participate, which if you've ever done a trade show, that's really, really inexpensive for a trade show. You can register on their site. It's NENTW.com, Network Entrepreneurial Women. It's an abbreviation. And then their keynote speaker is going to be Elizabeth Cazito. If you recognize the name Cazito, it's because you love cookies as much as I do. So she'll be speaking there, and it's at the Gillespie, which is a downtown venue. So that event is also going to be open to the public. So if you're not part of New, but you just want to support your local female entrepreneurs, go check it out. I've been. It's really fun. It's a great trade fair. I also wanted to thank the people here from Enterprise Corps. They actually had an event right before us. And we've shared some resources, some space, some staffing, and they've always been really supportive of us as an organization, us as a community, so I also want to give them a quick shout out. Okay, yeah, let's give everyone one more round of applause. Okay. The good news is there's only 17 more rounds of applause before we get to the event. So, if your hands are starting to feel weak, like pat your lap or your neighbor's lap. So let's talk about judging process, right? So there's going to be a bunch of people up here presenting their ideas, but they're actually being critiqued by judges. Well, what are they being critiqued on? Kind of three core areas. The first thing is the viability of their business, right? Can this work? An easy way to think about viability is if they sell the product for $10 and it costs $20 to make it, it's not viable. Unless it's software in Silicon Valley and then somehow it's viable. The next thing that we're looking for is, can this award actually positively impact their business, right? Are they at that stage where branding help, legal help, financial help is actually going to make an exponential difference? So part of the criteria is lifetime revenue. We don't have companies up here with $1 million in revenue trying to win $5,000, right? It's just not fair, and we think it'd be better to help some of the people who are just now getting started off with. That's a huge, huge boost. And then last but not least is also the quality of their presentation. Were they able to articulate what their business does, why it's important, why it matters? Were they able to answer the judges' questions clearly, concisely? Just was it easy to follow? And that's always important. So those are kind of their three criteria. And as in life, if you're ever in front of a judge of any kind, typically the decision is final, and it is the case here. So now let's put our fins together. This was a joke from last year that I left in the script. Let's put our fins together and welcome our venture sharks for the preliminary round. Yeah. First but not least is my dear friend, Ali Trutman. Ali is we can give her a round of applause too, individually. 17, there's 14 left. 14 left. So Ali is the founder and CEO of Wicked Sheets, which is a comfort sleep solutions provider. And I'm not just a fan, I'm a customer. Ali is a former Venture Sharks winner, and before she was an entrepreneur, she was a therapist specializing in children on the autism spectrum. She is currently an adjunct professor and alumni board member at Bellarmine University. She received a master's in psychology from U of L, and she just got back from attending the Oscars, where she was Jennifer Lawrence's +1. So that's Ali. Let's give her a big round of applause. The guys are only going to get one round of applause each, and we'll save it to the end. They're used to it. So Ross Jordan, also a good friend of mine. Ross is a senior associate with the Yearling Fund and also a principal at Weller Equity Partners, which are both investment firms that specialize investing in this region. So Ross is responsible for sourcing and analyzing many of the early stage investments in town. I'm going to say that again slowly for those of you who aren't paying attention. Ross is responsible for sourcing and analyzing many of the early stage investments in town. So I'm just saying, he's a good friend of mine. Ross is also a recovering attorney. He's received an MBA and a JD from U of L, and a lot of people don't know this about Ross, but he actually recently beat Michael Phelps head-to-head in a 200-meter freestyle. So let's give him a big round of applause. And last, I wasn't going to say anything else after that. Tendai Charasika. Many of you know Tendai. Tendai is the CEO of SuperFanU, which is a fan analytics service for athletics programs. If it's not obvious, I wrote your bios myself based on LinkedIn today. I was pretty proud of that. Trying to take all their fancy words and distill them down. So before Tendai took the reins of SuperFanU, which is a tech startup, he was actually the executive director of GLI's Enterprise Core, which we mentioned earlier, which is an early stage focus part of Greater Louisville, Inc., which is our local Metro Chamber of Commerce. Tendai also received an MBA from U of L, and he also, at U of L, once run a touchdown back 40 yards while dragging 3 people on his back. So let's give him a big round of applause. All 3 of our judges are also current board members of Venture Connectors, and Tendai is actually our current president as well, which is really exciting. The other common thread that all the sharks have in common is that, I guess the common thread would be in common, is that they care about this community, right? They spend a lot of their free time, and as you guys know, entrepreneurs don't have a lot of free time, but they spend most of their time giving back to people like us and making sure that we make as few of the mistakes as we've all made as possible. And again, they're here donating their time. I hate to keep asking for rounds of applause, but it feels so good. Let's give them one more. All right, now here's the messy stuff. Here's the details of how the event is going to go. So each company will have up to 4 minutes to present their pitch uninterrupted by the judges. And then at 4 minutes, we will cut them off. And by cut them off, I mean we'll indicate. We're not going to, hit them with a chainsaw or anything. But then they'll have about another 4 minutes of Q&A from the judges. And what I would encourage the teams to do is let the judges ask their questions, answer very succinctly, and if they have additional follow-up, get to it, right? So don't answer the first question in 3 minutes and 50 seconds because then they won't know, all the things that they want to know. When we get to our 9th contestant, then we're going to take a quick break and we're going to let the judges actually deliberate. In the meantime, if you all want to tweet about this event, any of the teams that are presenting, you can use the handle @VCLU or the hashtag VentureSharks, right? So you can take pictures, talk about what the businesses do, get them some local promotion, right? I mean, it's great to be in front of this many people, but collectively we probably have tens of thousands of Twitter followers that could also be learning about what all these great companies are doing. Once the judges collaborate after the pitches, they're actually going to choose 4 finalists, right? So we have to narrow it down to 4, no ties, nothing like that. And then those 4 finalists will get to present at our May luncheon on May 4th at the Muhammad Ali Center. And that's where they compete for the final prize. So it's a very exciting event, typically our largest attended event. I would expect probably 200 people to be there, and 200 very interested and very excited people. So you guys should come out for that as well. All right, last but not least, the competitors, right? Who's going to actually come up here and say all the interesting stuff? So there were a lot of really great entries this year. We had almost 50 applications, and an internal committee, we had to weed that down to our top 11. We actually lost 2 of those competitors recently, so if you're looking on your sheet and you're like, I thought there was another one, they had to drop out for various reasons. But the 9 that we have are really strongly competitive and really interesting. And so without further ado, I'm going to introduce our first contestant. Are you guys ready for that? Do you have any questions? Oh, yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah, so we have some extra seats. So I'm glad that Dave brought this up. So for my contestants, when I call your name, when I call the name of your company and then the presenter, I'd love you to come up here, meet me in the center of the stage here, and there's a white name tag with an X on it. If you can stand here and try not to move too far from there, we're actually taking some video tonight. And so that way people will get to see you. If you go too far out of frame, whatever. Same thing goes with the microphone. If you've noticed, I'm holding the microphone pretty close to my mouth. Don't hold it at your belly like Bob Barker. That's, it doesn't work, right? If you turn your head like this, you got to bring the mic with your head, right? So just pretend it's like a snow cone that you're eating the whole time you're talking, right? Is everybody good on that? Any other questions before we get started? Bathrooms are out that way. I think I've covered everything. All right. So let's put our fins together. That's the joke for our first contestant, which is Mailhaven. All right, so in a growing on-demand economy, Mailhaven works to ensure that every package arrives safe and sound right at home. And this is our co-founder, Nathan Armentrout. So give him a big round of applause.
All right. So I'm Nathan Armentrout, and I'm a pretty busy guy. And if you're busy like me, the last thing you need is another errand to run. And that is especially true for the post office. I hate going to the post office. So when I ordered things online, I really expect things to show up at my doorstep, and that doesn't always happen. Sometimes, I have to sign for packages, and other times, my packages are stolen. So this got me thinking, there has to be a better way for me to receive and manage all my packages, and I was wrong. There is no way, there was no solution, and so we founded Mailhaven. With Mailhaven, what we're doing is we're developing this brand new mailbox that's capable of securing your packages for you while you're away from home. It's about the size of a brick mailbox, but we store the packages underneath, where you typically would have your postal service at. Now, in addition to that, we are also, the way it works with Mailhaven is simply this. If you're a courier and you're trying to deliver a package, you don't have to go to the doorstep. You can simply go up to the Mailhaven and use the embedded barcode scanner to scan the package's tracking number. When that happens, the Mailhaven authenticates the code and then unlocks, and then the courier can leave the package inside, and you go on your way. When that happens, you as the package recipient are able to receive the package. You get a notification on your phone, so you can react to it immediately. And then when you go to pick up your package, you use the Mailhaven app to unlock the box, and you are able to retrieve it. So at this point, we have sold 5 of our Mailhaven prototypes to people here in Louisville. But the market opportunity is much bigger than that, okay? There are 40 million suburban homeowners that we've identified that order enough stuff online that they would find value in Mailhaven, both for its peace of mind that it provides and the convenience it offers. And the way we're going to get to these 40 million homeowners is simple. We're not going to wait till our product is ready. We're actually launching our app at the end of this month that lets you track all your packages that you're receiving from whatever store you're ordering from, okay? And that's how we're going to get our user base. So with that user base, how we're going to reach them, So with the user base we're going to reach, we're going to sell the Mailhaven for $10 a month plus a one-time installation fee. And that's going to go towards, that will keep Mailhaven going for a while. Now, what's really important about Mailhaven is something you may not have considered is when you really think about what Mailhaven is doing, we're automating the last link of the supply chain for people. And that's a very powerful position to be at. Because what we can do is not only just see what people are shopping from Amazon, we can see their whole internet shopping history. And that's very powerful for e-tailers, people who sell things online. So if you sell things online, what we're going to be able to do with Mailhaven is give you the ability to get delivery verification, be able to prevent fraud, people saying things were stolen when they weren't. And in addition to that, we're offering you a qualified advertising avenue. You will be able to see people, you will be able to provide ads through the Mailhaven app that when they get to see you and they're using the app to look at it, and that's a great time to do an add-on sale. So at the heart of Mailhaven is myself and my co-founder, Kella Avanye. We are longtime underdogs, lifelong underdogs who have persevered through a lot of hard things, and but find a way to be successful. And so we also made a number of great partnerships here in Louisville, including with Dave Duran and Forest Giant, and Tony Diebold with Fabricated Metals. So that's it.
So thanks a lot. That's awesome. So I've got a couple of friends that are actually mailmen, and they say this is a very real issue. People stealing their packages off the front porch. Does this actually draw more attention? How big is this box, and how do you secure the box?
So the box is, right now as it's designed, is about 2 feet by 2 feet by 52 inches tall. So the real storage volume is really what I can fit as like a generator, a power generator or something pretty large. So it's sized for most packages. You can't fit a TV, but you can fit most things.
How do you secure it?
So it's secured with a barcode scanner, an electronic lock, solar powered. Secure the box. So you take your typical mailbox post, 4x4 post, cut it off, slide the box on, and put 2 bolts in.
So, question on the box: what is the cost of the box, and also kind of break down your revenue model again in terms of different revenue streams you see once you're kind of in market?
Okay, so the cost of the box right now is looking at about $400 to make in somewhat large quantity. Right now, that's with 12-gauge steel and some other factors there. With the revenue model, $10 a month. What we want to try to get to is we expect 600,000 people would pay that. And that would be, of that 40 million homeowners we expect, 1.5% conversion rate, and about 72 million there. We have not figured out what the value of our advertising is yet, and that's something that we need to figure out.
Did you have a follow-up on financials? Mine's a legal question.
Go ahead.
Okay. So with the privacy acts and the postal service, I know you guys said you mentioned you would get the postal carriers to have barcode scanners?
No, so the barcode scanner is embedded inside the mailbox itself. We are not asking the carrier to change anything they do other than not leave it at the porch.
Okay.
So the mail haven would scan the barcode tracking number that's already on your package. If you look at your Amazon package, the barcode's already there. That's the
Okay.
same way they use to manage and get the package to you.
Okay, all right, sorry, I misunderstood
That's
that.
fine. Yes, it can. Yes. So you wouldn't have to sign, wouldn't have to get your packages wet or get stolen.
To make it cost effective for me as a customer, how many packages would I need to get to warrant paying $120 a year?
For me, my value is I order over 100 packages per year, and that's something I kind of live as like the best house in my neighborhood, so I'm not really comfortable with leaving my packages out there and a lot of foot traffic. So it's kind of situational of where you live and kind of what you're buying.
And who you sold this to? You said 5 customers?
There's 5 pre-orders here for people here in Louisville. Individuals, yeah, individual homeowners.
So, I mean, this is more just a question. I'm guessing most of, the people that are ordering at that volume online generally tend to be a younger demographic. So do you have any concerns over that your primary customers are not homeowners? They're still renting or they're in grad school. I mean, how do you go after the people that are renting and don't have a home? How do they authorize, a box to be placed on the property?
So that's looking at like what the statistics look like today. We're also looking at what's in the future. The on-demand and e-commerce economies are growing, and we're going to expect more people to buy more things online. So yes, more younger people today order more things, but as they continue to age, we believe older people will continue to order more packages as well.
What's your advertising model in this? So you were talking about getting advertising for this?
The idea was that you would pay for an advertising spot on the Mailhaven app as a retailer. And that's a great time as when you're using the app to say, pick up your camera that you got delivered to sell me a neck strap with it. That's kind of the idea. It's an add-on sale.
So, obviously, if you were to win, you would use some of the legal services and the branding and marketing. What's $5,000 do for you if you win today?
We need to fulfill our 5 pre-orders, and then we also want to get people using our app. So the cool thing is when people start using our app to track their packages, we understand what they're buying, we understand where they're going to order things, and that's where we can find where to advertise to. We can better understand.
All right. Going first is rough. I know. I literally went right before he did. I'd like to remind all of the judges to speak into the microphone so that the stream can pick up your audio. I'm not going to call anyone out by name. Bob Saunders. But I would like to ask the judges to all use the mic. I know we only gave you 2, so it's half our fault. But I'm really excited about this next presenter. So Stinger Equipment manufactures industry-leading landscape equipment. Let's welcome their founding partner, Dustin McGee. Yeah, if you don't mind. This is my landscaping jacket. Oh, that was, yeah, maybe not the best place for that. I'm not going to start the time until this is up here. Okay. Yeah, I think so.
Hello, my name is Dustin McGee. I'm with Stinger Equipment. Stinger makes revolutionary equipment for the landscape industry. A little bit of domain expertise come from my background. I've been in the landscape industry for 19 years. I shaved today, so it throws people off on my age. I'm actually 85. But no, truth be told, the industry issue that we face every year that is crippling our industry is the lack of labor and an inferior labor force. Every year it's harder to find employees and even harder to find employees that are of a high caliber for the demanding jobs that we do. So at Stinger, we are producing equipment that takes a heavy focus on efficiency and productivity. For example, this is one of our products. This is the Go Barrel. It's going to revolutionize the material transfer market. It's capable of carrying about 700 pounds of material. It is motorized, fully hydrostatic, self-propelled. So the lightest of lifters can carry it. We are featuring a better center of gravity to it to keep the weight lower. And basically that allows us to eliminate about one guy per job. And so the nice thing with that is it allows us to fill labor shortages. It also allows us to keep production up so that we can afford to pay our guys higher wages. It is currently the trend in the industry to keep employees retained. So a little bit about our history with the Go Barrel. We started it about a year ago. We've gone through about 4 revisions. We keep testing it, sending it out. It's been to several job sites. We actually started pre-sales this past Friday. Basically everyone we've shown it to was wanting to give us money. We weren't quite ready for it. We are now ready, so if you go to our website, you too can have one. It's going to retail for about $1,500. Our production cost is about $600 on that unit. This is actually just one of multiple units we'll be debuting this year. We have a non-powered wheelbarrow that's been requested by a major chain dealer across the nation. They will be releasing in about 2 months as well. Some aspects about Stinger that are neat. I've partnered with David Cook and Josh Otto. They are Dave is the 2006 Vogue winner for the lawn solutions. He developed a lawn equipment company that built power seeders, aerators, had a successful exit to Toro. Both of them actually do consulting for them now. So we have great expert domains. We also have many inroads with existing dealerships and distributors across the nation. You guys have any questions, or was that it?
Awesome. Fantastic. So first question, any IP around this? Have you gone the process of?
Yes, we do. Yeah, so I wanted to do this about 3 years ago because my back was hurting. And at the time, the drive system really wasn't compact enough. So we actually are filing some IP work on the hydrostatic drive system, as well as a couple things in the mechanisms for the hand controls. We're very confident on getting those, and it will allow us to lock up with that sector.
So if you open this up, and I assume that your first sales are going to be online, not a retail outlet yet, what's your ability to scale this product? If 100 people tomorrow want to buy it, do you have the ability to do that?
We do. In fact, we've already started ordering materials, so we're hoping at least 250 order one fast. We will be selling direct through our website. We think we'll gain some traction with that as we roll out our national distribution. We're working with Site One, which was formerly John Deere Landscapes. They have over 550 locations, and we're looking to put one of those in each of their locations in the next year as well. So volume should not be an issue.
What's the cost to ship the product if they do order online?
Right. So cost to ship is a bit of rough. So going to California, worst case scenario, we're looking at about $120 per unit. We can actually put 4 on a pallet though. So if we can catch waypoints through our dealership network, it cuts down the cost significantly.
Is there any way you could turn it around so we could see what the motor looks like?
Yes, absolutely. And so we're featuring a Honda 4-stroke here. The nice thing about this engine is it can be used at any orientation. So guys who may store their wheelbarrows upside down on the trailers, that sort of thing. I can also show you our hydrostatic drive system.
So I'm assuming your ideal customers are landscaping companies. What about a lady like me who just bought a house last year and does all my own yard work?
We'd love for you to have one.
Oh, okay.
Maybe two. But yeah, ideally, most of our products are targeted probably to more of the volume installers. With this wheelbarrow, and actually our second wheelbarrow to come out that's non-powered, those are going to be more of a mass. As anyone that has a lawn care company would be very obtainable. Currently, the industry size is about $10 billion a year. If we can only capture half of that, I'll be in the Caribbean in 18 months. But truth be told, we don't have to capture a very large percentage of that, and we have excellent appeal to the market.
So question, so how does this compare to the competition that's out there? And two, what if it breaks down? How quickly are you going to be able to repair this? And does that then put your landscaper, your company up a creek because now they don't have a person and now they're out of production?
Right, absolutely. That's actually one of the biggest sticking points in our industry is the availability of parts. We've actually developing an app, and you will have a barcode on each individual item. You'll scan that, and it'll take you directly to our website. We'll give you 10% off for not harassing us with a phone call, and it'll bring up parts diagram just for that product. You'll be able to click order. It will ship within 12 hours.
So what future development plans do you already have beyond the current product?
So we've got 2 wheelbarrows. We've got a couple of saws for the hardscape market that we're working on, and then we have another large project that we're working on. Unfortunately, I decided non-disclosure to get that going. They currently have 4 times more lawyers than we have employees.
And what's the normal cost of like your high-end wheelbarrow that's out
So
there?
high-end wheelbarrows. So we're kind of in a hybrid point. So when you get into motorized wheelbarrows, they typically get large. They're not very maneuverable. Those typically range somewhere $2,000 to $3,000, whereas a standard wheelbarrow is going to cost you between $100 and $200. And so we're trying to hit that middle point. We're keeping it a single wheel so you can still fit in between bushes easily, high maneuverability, and keep the weight low.
All right. Who here likes cake? Okay, good answer. I love cake. And Totally Nally Cakes helps aspiring cake artists, amateurs to experts, create custom designs with ease. So let's give a big round of applause for their owner, Jennifer Nally.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jennifer Nally, and I am the owner of Totally Nally Cakes. A couple years now, I've been making custom cakes for family and friends and, well, some acquaintances as well. But a lot of people always ask me, how are you making these? I wonder if there's a way that I can do them myself. And so that kind of got me to thinking, well, maybe there is. Maybe I can come up with an idea for them. So that kind of brought me to my idea. My idea is a custom edible template that you can put right onto your cake, okay? And then it also comes with included icing bags. I'll hold one up here for you all to see. It comes sealed in a bag. It's already cut out. You can place it anywhere on your cake that you would like. They can come in different sizes to fit any size, shape, or cake that you need. It comes with 2 to 3 bags of, icing that's colored. We have 22 different colors of icing to fit any kind of design that you want to do. The special thing about these bags is that they already have the built-in tip. There's no need to buy the extra additional accessories, which can be kind of pricey. And so you have everything right here. And the best thing, the icing on the cake about our kits is it's dairy, gluten, and nut allergy free. Kids love doing them. It also comes with a full color picture guide for you to, if you want to go by that, you don't have to. You can also do your own thing. Right now, our kits are selling for $12. We make them for at most $267 per kit. And right now we have several designs online. Online, they have the capability to be able to go on there and pick and choose to customize their own kit. They can pick out what template they want, along with whatever buttercream colors they would like as well. Some of the kits are already prepackaged that we would like to put into some retail stores as well. But I think our main focus is going to be the online store, so that they can kind of go from the packaging and then they'll go, oh, well, I can go online and buy a customized kit. So, and that would be, that's all.
Awesome.
I brought this cake over here. Sorry, excuse me, everybody.
Thank you.
This cake right here, I put a jockey silks on. Nobody can even tell that you've put the template on the cake. All you're basically doing is tracing over it. Thank you. You're tracing over it, filling it in like a coloring page with your already included icings. Thank you. You're welcome.
So is the decal tasteless? I mean, or does it dissolve? I'd be worried about cutting into it.
It melts into the icing that's already on your cake.
Okay.
So what you want to do, you want to preferably put it on a cake that has buttercream icing on it, or you can even use a store-bought cake. That's a store-bought cake. I brought that purposely to show you all that it can go on any kind of icing that you buy. You can buy the icing and the cake mix and our kit and still be able to have your own custom cake under $20, which is a big difference between hiring somebody like me to make your custom cake and spending an arm and a leg, you know?
So, have you sold any of these yet?
Yes.
And how many? And what's your strategy going forward to build awareness so that you can sell more of these?
Okay. As of right now, we've sold 48. That is online. Going forward, we are really going to be coming out full force on social media. I already have a little bit of a following already for my cakes, so I think that we already have a little bit of a customer base, so we're just going to be building on that.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing custom cakes 2.5 years.
So tell me how you came to the $12 price point, and then also speak to what you would use the money for.
Okay. $12, I feel like, is a good price. You're getting a good kit, and that also gives me room to have profit, as well as you being able to buy that and couple it with, you can buy a plain cake from a bakery for $7, $8, or you can buy the cake mix and the icing from the store and still be under $20, and you can't beat that. I mean, kids love doing it. It's one of the best things about it is that it's a family thing. You get everybody involved in it.
Who's coming up with the new design concepts, and how often do you think you'll put new design concepts out there?
Right now, I come up with ideas daily. They're not on the online every day, but the ideas, I have numerous ideas. I constantly am coming up with new ones. It does take me a little bit of time, so I'm going to say it's about 2 to 3 a week right now that I'm putting those designs out on the website. Obviously, we'll be ramping that up here pretty shortly, where it'll be more like at least one a day. So.
And do all of the kits come with the same colors, or what if I wanted something zany and I wanted to buy them individually?
That's the best part. You go online, you pick whatever template you'd like, and you can pick and choose whatever colors you'd like.
Okay.
That's what's great about it. And hopefully we're hoping to kind of build up steam where we can have people upload their own logos and do things like that.
And also, the $12, does that include shipping as well?
No, it does not.
Okay, how much is shipping?
$3.
Okay.
And just real quick again, so you make the packages right now yourself at home?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And what's your capacity, you think, if you start and everybody in here starts to order online from you?
I'm going to work my butt off. And I'm going to get them out there. That's what I'm going to do. Right now, I can do about 40 a day by myself. Now, if I need to do more than that, I will. I'll work as much as I need to until, I need to hire somebody else to help me.
Have you looked at your competition out there? Is there any competition, anybody doing sort of something similar?
Yes, I have. The closest competitor that I have, they have a template that goes on top of the cake, but theirs does not include the icing, or does it include the piping bags. That's one of the best things about mine. it's already pre-mixed for you. You don't have to buy the icing and then try to figure out what colors and the food coloring and the tips and everything else. We've taken all that work out of the way for you. All you do is buy the kit and have fun.
How much is the competitors? How much do you know what they retail?
She has different prices. She sells the templates for about $7. She has a kit that's about $25.
If you have empty seats next to you, can you raise your hand? We've also got 2 up front. If anyone who's staying in the back wants to grab a seat real quick, you're more than welcome to. I know it's awkward. You don't want to like bust in and kick people out, but still got some extra room up here, a little bit up in the front. All right, so our next presenter is actually present during this event in 2 different ways. And you're probably thinking, why would you say that in such a cryptic and weird way? Well, I mentioned earlier that we were live streaming this event. We're actually using an application called Switcher Studios, which makes video creation easier and more accessible. So let's welcome the CEO and co-founder, Nick Mattingly.
What's going on? All right, this is my fun little bag, and this is a full 4-camera setup. We'll come back to that. How many people in here have watched a YouTube video? Video on the internet? Okay, just about everyone. When we look at an online video, maybe it's 2 minutes, maybe it's 5 minutes, most of us probably don't realize it probably took 3 hours to put together that video by the time they set up cameras, move around files, edit it, render it, upload it. It takes a lot of time. So we have developed a platform that allows you to create TV-style content using hardware you already have. Your iPhones, iPads, iPod Touches. We have cloud services that work with this as well. Looking at video creation on a spectrum from pulling out your phone, just point and shoot, 9 times out of 10, you never look at it again. It's just on your phone taking up space. On the other end of the spectrum, you have ESPN-style productions. I said that twice. You have multiple cameras, graphics, overlays. It's flashy. It's something that is worth watching. And what we've developed brings about 80% of that production value you see at the high end without any upfront cost. And you're using stuff you already have. We've been doing this for over 2 years. We've been self-funded through the whole thing. We're just now starting to structure our seed round, but we're in that weird in-between spot. Coming up at the end of June, we're going to be launching a new version of our product to create an upgrade path where customers, where our product is more accessible to people so that it is the go-to video creation tool for anyone and everyone. Our current product is $25 a month or $300 a year. We have 200 paying subscribers and $6,000 in monthly recurring revenue currently. We have doubled our paying customer base since December to date. We've had about a 15 to 20% growth month over month. On the business, not necessarily enterprise side, the business side, we're developing wholesale opportunities and co-branded distribution partners. So if you think about any way that you could use video, whether it's for religious services, concerts, athletics, education, workshops, training, there are hundreds of companies out there in those spaces, and we're giving them white label versions of our product. They put their sticker on it, they sell it for us, and it all comes back. We're building in really high minimum monthly or annual payments on that as well, and recurring revenue moving forward. So we're getting a lot of money in the front door over the next couple of months through some of these business-to-business deals. And over the next 2 months, we're going to be working on the consumer version to build an upgrade path for the current version of our product that we have today.
So is there anyone else doing this right now? Do you have any competition in the market?
We were the first team to develop wireless multi-camera video for iOS. We were one of the first products to introduce real-time audio monitoring for mobile video creation in this way. We are one of the only solutions that has a full platform where through our subscription you get access to the app, cloud services, desktop tools for screen sharing, integrating with other editing applications. There are companies that provide parts of the solution that we offer, but we have a holistic approach that really changes the whole creation process. When we talk about that 3 hours to produce a 5-10 minute video, you can set up, be live immediately, and as soon as you're done, have a finished video, not have to touch it.
So can you just describe a little more in detail who your target audience is and how do you reach them?
Yeah. So when we first launched the product, this was September of 2014. We didn't put a box around it. It was kind of a silent release. And we just wanted to see what happened. We were much more expensive. We wanted to get professional people that were used to using the big production trucks. And during our onboarding process, we were collecting information on how you were using it, and going back to kind of those different buckets: education, athletics, journalism, just anything. There was not a single category that stood out more than the rest, 20% across the board. So what we've done on the business side is looking for distribution partners that can sell the product across those different verticals. And what we're doing with our big push is really piggybacking on video creation in general. Facebook has made a huge buy-in to live video. YouTube is where online content lives, and we really think we can position Switcher as the go-to video creation tool.
Can you walk through the pricing model with the distribution partners again?
Yeah, so our current, without really changing the product, anyone can go to our website, create an account, you get a 7-day trial, and it's $25 a month or $300 a year. Moving up from that, on the business side, we have a wholesale program where companies can pre-purchase 10, 50, 100 licenses at a reseller discount of maybe 15 to 30%, depending on volume. And then our co-branding distribution partners will prepay anywhere from $15,000 to $50,000 up front and a minimum of $10,000 annually, and an additional recurring revenue on top of that for each license that they sell. So it's tying into the existing subscription model that we have, just fewer customers and bigger money up front. One thing I will add, Switcher is we have been working so long to get to where we are. I've gone 2 years without pay. It's only in the past 2 months that I've started taking distributions on this. We have an incredible team. I somehow managed to drag 6 other people through this with me. If we are awarded the prize, there's a very large industry-specific event called VidCon at the end of June where we're going to be launching the consumer version of our product. We have a booth. We don't know how we're getting there. The $5,000 is really going to help. The marketing services, the legal, that's going to help us tighten up our terms of use, our privacy policy, building more marketing material to go around this. We're working on the seed round, but it takes a lot of time, and we're still new at this, so it's really, really good timing, and would really help us out a lot.
Do you have a free version or any in-app purchases? I mean, can you get people in, get them using the product, and then upsell them?
We have a free-ish version today that we don't talk about. All of our marketing is directed toward the $25 a month version of our product. We're going to be discontinuing that original free-ish version. That was kind of our beta build. And this is where we're introducing the new version of our product to build that upgrade path. So anyone can use it and then move on up to what we're doing already.
All right, great job. All right, so our next presenter, we've already talked about how great cake is. Well, if you're like me and you eat, 3/4 of the entire cake by yourself, you probably get a little thirsty. So our next presenters, Zofi Inc. They create a premium and shelf-stable and delicious kombucha. So let's welcome founder and president, Chef Christopher Turner.
So much. Man, we're so excited to be here today. This is just awesome. Again, I'm Chef Christopher Turner. I'm the founder and president of Zofi Inc. and Zofi Kombucha. I first want to thank Chef Space. This is really awesome. I'm a foodie, a chef, so I totally appreciate what you guys did. This place is beautiful. I know how much work it takes to put something like this together. I did that for so many years. I want to thank the Venture Connectors. I'm really, really excited to be here. And Zach, I appreciate you letting me lug in my table over here, which I won't bore you with trying to lug that thing over here. I want to thank my lovely wife. She's been enormously supportive in helping me to bring this thing to life. And my 16-week-old daughter, who was the inspiration. Her name is Sophia. She was the inspiration behind Zofi Kombucha. Real quick information about me. 25 years ago, my first job was in a French restaurant in Denver, Colorado, where I began to create and make experiences for all these amazing people, serving some of the most spectacular food in the nation. I can't help but walk around a little bit. I get really excited. I was very passionate about food from the very beginning, and I wanted to go around the world. So I joined the Air Force, and I began to circle the globe, and I was able to experience all sorts of cultures and food, and I became extremely passionate about understanding different types of food. What I decided to do was attend Johnson & Wales University, which is a prestigious culinary school in North Miami. After attending, what I did was I started working in some of the most amazing restaurants in the city. We won some James Beard Award. I don't know if anybody's familiar with James Beard, but a very prestigious award. I ended up traveling out of the country, working for resorts that won 5-star, 5-diamond. So I was always very involved in the very high level of food. And then over the last number of years, I began to spread my wings out a little bit more and started working in different styles of food establishments. At the age of 30, a serious change happened for me. I made a lifestyle choice change to quit drinking alcohol. Enormously healthy for the system, but more importantly, when thinking about my business, I had a series of challenges and opportunities to cover. One, I knew that people didn't really like the taste, and for me as a chef, taste was the most important thing that I always worked on. So the idea actually came last August. I was in the shower, and all of a sudden a light went on, and I was just like, oh my God, I want to make a better kombucha. And I remember yelling out to my wife that she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I drove deep into figuring out kombucha, and I had bottles of kombucha in my kitchen. I had like all these bottles fermenting and brewing. My wife was like, oh my God, what's going on in here? And I was like, I got to figure this thing out. So there was several things that I knew right up front that I had to work on. One, taste was the most important thing. Two, it had to be safe to drink by everyone. The rest of the industry, most people don't know, has trace amounts of alcohol. I don't want alcohol because I don't consume alcohol. Three, it needed to be extremely safe for everybody to consume. It needed to be shelf stable, which was an important detail in a beverage. Much of the other industry requires cold storage, which is very expensive moving from point A to point C. I also wanted to ramp up very quickly, so I need to find companies to strategically allow me to ramp up quickly, especially with manufacturing and distribution.
So I've got a question. So obviously, I would assume the holy grail is to get retail distribution,
Yes.
Which we know to get that shelf space, it's very competitive. What are you doing now to get customers, to get sort of this product in the hands of people so that you can get that retail shelf?
So really exciting thing, we launched our company last month, and I acquired 2 distributors within 5 days of launching. One distributor is Republic National Distributing, it's one of the distributing companies in the nation, and 2 is the brands. They're a retail distributor. Within several days, we moved out all the product that we created that first week, and we entered into Lucky's Market, we're in Good Foods Market, we're at Jack's Fries, we're in several different and country clubs, and we're extensively working on getting into others. Next week, we actually are creating more product because we've been out of product for the last, month and a half.
So talk to me a little bit more about the bottling process and the scalability. If this just launched 2 months ago and you've already landed that many people, are you bottling this at your house, or how is this?
No, I've hired other people. I've outsourced every piece of the business. I have co-packers. In fact, we're talking to several other large distributors currently, one in Las Vegas and one in Miami. So what I'm doing is strategically setting up manufacturing throughout the United States.
What's the price per bottle?
So when we first created, it was very expensive for us. It was about $1.35.
Is that to make it? You
to
said-
make it.
Okay.
And our next run is actually $1, and we wholesale that product for $2.25. And it sells in different establishments at different prices. So retail's a little bit less expensive. Our model was to go into food service where the price isn't such an issue for clients.
Of the 2 distributors you currently have, how many bottles have been ordered to date?
5,000 were moved the first
Okay.
week. And we're manufacturing 10,000 bottles next week.
So, are there any competitors to kombucha?
So one of the amazing things about the kombucha industry, and most people don't know, is kombucha in itself is the fastest growing functional beverage in the United States. I knew that by observing and understanding kombucha. I wanted to something that was really hot and could grow very quickly. And that's why I set up the company the way I did, so we can expand very quickly and strategically set up other partners throughout the United States.
Is it a tea? Or,
It is, in itself, it is a sparkling fermented tea.
Is it just you right now, or do you have any other members of your team?
I am the only employee of my company, but I've outsourced outsourced everything. Design guy. I actually hired a beverage entrepreneur to help consult, and he's been hugely instrumental. His name is Larry DeAngelis. He owned a company called Revolution Tea.
So from a marketing perspective, are you going to trade shows, or what's the marketing plan?
So our marketing strategy from the very beginning is to utilize my long history in the chef world. So a lot of the people that I've been setting up business with are chefs, and it's also about setting up relationships with retailers. We launched our website, www.drinkzofi.com. We can be found on social media, Zofi Kombucha on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. And I've also hired a marketing company to help with additional. But, and we are going to Chicago to the largest food show in the nation next month. It's May 21st to the 24th. You can put it on your books. We'll be in the organic section.
And how will you use the prize money as well? Or the prize package?
If we win, which we would love, the money we'd use for inventory, because that's our biggest obstacle. And then the marketing we can always use for everything. I love to create some video. I love to create more content. For marketing, content for my company and the branding is a big, big deal. Thank you so much.
All right. So for those of you who are math whizzes in the room, you might have noticed that we've already passed the halfway point, right? It's exciting. So we've only got 4 presentations left, right? Why don't everyone just stand up real quick, shake it out a little bit. Shake your neighbor's hand. Isn't that what they do at church or whatever? Yeah, let's wake it up. Stretch your knees. What? Thirsty? Yeah. All right, y'all, don't get too familiar. Let's sit back down. Trade business cards. All right, y'all, we're going to get this thing moving. And the winner of Venture Sharks is... All right, y'all. I'm going to introduce the next team, if that's okay. Do you guys mind if I introduce the next team? Yeah, get a slow clap going. Clap if you're with me. Holler if you hear me. All right, y'all, shut up. We're going to get going. I'm going to flick the lights next. There you go. Yeah, slow claps mean you have to stop. It's a really polite way to stop people. All right, so now that we've gotten a little bit more juice flowing here, a little bit more blood flowing, we've got 4 teams left. This next team's also really exciting. They're presenting their product, the Flex Roll Crimper, which is a flexible twist on a piece of farm equipment used to manage cover crops and to get rid of pesky weeds. So let's welcome their Vice President, Austin Scott.
So yeah, like you said, my name's Austin Scott, and I'm with Farm Specific Technology, and today I'm going to introduce you to our Flex Roller Crimper concept. It's the first chemical-free, no-till solution to manage cover crops and weedy pests in any farmer's field. So cover crops can be a man's or a farmer's best friend and his worst enemy in the same year. Simply put, cover crops are beneficial plants being grown in a field during the time in which the cash crop's not being produced. There's tons of reasons growers are using them, but mainly because they help combat soil erosion, compaction, they increase water infiltration, and they help suppress weeds. They're so effective, there's a 67% increase in cover crop usage from 2009 to 2014. And this is because cover crops keep land healthy and growers profitable. But there's one problem. Cover crop, when it's time to plant your cash crop, how do you keep it from becoming a weed? So one way, growers can use sprayed herbicides. Herbicides can be costly, they can have poor results, and they can be harmful to the environment if not used right. They could strip till, but they would have to have some sort of really expensive auto guidance technology in their tractor, and then they'd still have to have a way to come back and kill the remaining cover in between the rows. Or they could use a conventional roller crimper to roll over and slowly kill the plants while creating an organic mat that helps protect that seed bed. Roller crimpers work by pinching the stem of plants between the blades on the roller and the soil surface, shutting off the flow of water and nutrients throughout that plant, kind of like putting a kink in a water hose to shut off the flow of water. But current roller crimpers aren't effective on variable terrain or uneven ground, and due to size limitations, you can only plant 4 rows at a time with them. So currently, as you can see, there's no perfect cover crop management solution on the market. So what if we took a current roller crimper and made it more practical? What if we sectioned it off into smaller units and mounted them individually so that they flex and conform with the ground? Well, that's just what we did when we created the Flex Roller Crimper. So when attached to a planter, it rolls over cover crops and pinches the stems of plants, slowly killing them. But the Flex Roller Crimper is different from current technology because each roller is mounted individually so that they flex and conform with the ground. This patent-pending innovation will now allow growers to terminate cover crops in a single pass across the field while planting into that field without using any tillage or multiple herbicide applications. And all these benefits are really good, but it gets better. The Flex Roller Crimper is also designed to be used in season. So this will be the first chemical-free, no-till solution to managing cover crops and weedy pest, herbicide-resistant weeds after the crop's already up. And this opens up a secondary market of about 60 million acres across the U.S. alone, just with fighting herbicide resistance. But that's really the most exciting thing about this product is the market potential. So currently, there's about 10 million acres of cover crops being grown and produced here in the U.S. By 2025, that number is projected to go to over 100 million acres. That's nearly 35% of all crop acreage in the U.S. We're looking to license our Flex Roller Crimper with a third-party manufacturer at about a bearish 8% royalty rate, but with projected values, that's generating over $4 million in revenue the first year of that licensing agreement. We're in a unique position to get this product to market. With this $5,000 investment from this prize money, we'll be able to finish our prototypes within this year, and then we look to push our results and metrics to the industry via publication, and by 2017, we've already identified 50 growers who are willing to purchase our product to further validate our technology on their fields. It's with these results that we're confident that the market will readily adapt it.
So it sounds like, since you're considering a licensing play, it's important. So have you filed a full patent or a provisional patent?
So we filed our provisional patent in March of 2014, and we filed our full patent in, I think, April of 2015.
So What's the cost to manufacture this? What's the retail price going to be?
So
And-
there's three ways. We've set up margins to be about 45% between manufacturing and retail. So there's three ways you can get the Flex Roller Crimper. As a standalone unit to be used in season, which production cost on that ranges about $4,200. We're marketing it as a 12-row implement, selling it for $8,300.
So how does that compare to current solutions? I mean, would it be easier for them to spend the time with the herbicides or the crimper and that kind of thing versus going out and spending $8,300?
So actually, our system.
ladies and gentlemen, let's take our seats really quickly. And we have our winners. Oh, lens cap's on. Your lens cap's on. That would be me right now. Mike's not working. All right, y'all. Let's get settled down. We got some important results to deliver. I think there's a few people in this room. There's at least 9 people in this room who care about the results. Maybe 10, maybe dozens. There are dozens of us. All right. So I am very, very excited to announce the winners moving on to the finals of Venture Sharks. And I'm going to do that very shortly. However, first thing, I want to give our judges one more round of applause. I also want to acknowledge our sponsors, again, without whom none of this would be possible. That includes Commonwealth Seed Capital of Kentucky, the University of Louisville College of Business Graduate Programs Office, RG Financial, and of course our in-kind sponsors, Stoll Keenan and Ogden, Mightily, McCrory Digital, and then of course our lovely hosts, Chris Lavinson, the Community Ventures here at the Chef Space, for hosting us tonight, and of course all the awesome food that we've gotten from Vino, Lolly's Kitchen, Vera. So let's give all those people another big round of applause. So I'm not going to steal his thunder, but Tendai is probably going to say, this was the hardest decision we've ever made. But I will have him say a few words about kind of their thought process and why they chose the winners that they did. So, Tendai.
Yeah. So this was the hardest decision we ever made. This way. Gotcha. So we did, so in consideration of the criteria, the viability of the business, as well as the impact and then just overall presentation, it is a tough decision. We really did kind of go back and forth and spend an extra 10 minutes discussing this. But if we dig a little deeper, I think what we really resolved around was when you look at getting a company off the ground, sort of 3 categories that really you kind of need to really get to the next level. Part of that's around team, so understanding, who's got the passion, who's got the talent to be able to execute on the business to make that happen, the knowledge that comes from understanding the industry that you're in, the product itself. So not only do you have a either potentially working product that's in the final stages of getting to be a prototype, but do you also have the support structure, infrastructure, and even team behind that to help execute the product. And then also, and probably most importantly, is around traction. So sales traction, first sort of, test pilots, things of that nature. It's more than an idea, and it's on its way to helping you learn more about where you need to go next. So that's how we took it beyond viability and impact of the award. So, do you want me to announce?
No, I'm announcing. Right. So I have a verified envelope here. It's very official. RG Financial actually did all of the tallying here. So I'm going to announce these teams in no particular order because they all get to move forward. So the first team I'd like to announce is Uncrash. I'd also like to announce CompassioNote. give a big round of applause for, I'm going to say the name wrong because you wrote the product name down. Farm Specific Solutions? Is that the right name? They wrote Flex Roll Crimper, and I was like, I know that's not the name of the company.